बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा बनचारी यमुना तीरा बनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय श्रीनिवास गोविंद वेंकटरमण गोविंद श्रीनिवास गोविंद वेंकटरमण गोविंद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 14, Text 1. We'll recite the verse. Shri Parikshit Uvacha Rajastama-svabhavasya Brahman Vritrasya Papmanah Narayane Bhagavati Katham Asida Dridamatihi. Shri Parikshit Uvacha Rajastama-svabhavasya ब्रह्मन् वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवती कथमासीददृढामतिः। श्री परीक्षित उवाच रजस्तमस्वभावस्य ब्रह्मन् वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवती कथम आसीत् दृढामतिः। श्री परीक्षित उवाच तमस्वभावस्य ब्रह्मन् वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवते कथम् आसीत् दृढामतिः। श्रीपरीक्षिदुवाच रजस्तमस्वभावस्य ब्रह्मण्वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवति कथमासीत् दृढामतिः। श्रीपरीक्षिदुवाच रजस्तमस्वभावस्य नारायणे भगवति कथमासीत् दृढामतिः। माताजी। श्रीपरीक्षित उवाच तमस्वभावस्य ब्रह्मन्वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवति कथमासीत् दृढामतिः। श्रीपरीक्षित उवाच रजस्तमस्वभावस्य ब्रह्मन्वृत्रस्य पाप्मनः नारायणे भगवति कथमासीत् दृढामतिः। Sri Parikshit Uvacha. King Parikshit inquired, Rajaha, of the mode of passion, Tamaha, and the mode of ignorance, Svabhavasya, having a nature, Brahman, hey, O learned Brahmana, Vritrasya, of Vritrasura, Papmanaha, who was supposedly be sinful, Narayane, in Lord Narayana, Bhagavati, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Katham, how, Asit, was there, Drida, very strong, Matihi, consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. King Parikshit inquired from Shukadev Goswami, O learned Brahmana, demons are generally sinful, being obsessed with the modes of passion and ignorance. How then could Vritrasura have attained such an exalted love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana? Purport. In this material world, everyone is obsessed with the modes of passion and ignorance. However, unless one conquers these modes and comes to the platform of goodness, there is no chance of one's becoming a pure devotee. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. Tesham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dudavratah. Persons who have acted piously in the previous lives and this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Since Vritrasura was amongst the demons, Maharaj Parikshit wondered how it was possible for him to have become such an exalted devotee. So, I welcome everybody for this Bhagavatam class and begging blessings of many senior personalities here. His Holiness Ramai Maharaj and His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, and tomorrow I was told that many sannyasis would be coming, and today here we have many future sannyasis as well. Also, sincere prayers to His Grace Rasaviguru Prabhu. By His mercy I am giving class here today. So I hope He has empowered me. So today we are beginning a new chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is the 14th chapter, and which is coming in the 6th canto. So we'll see a typical bird's eye view of this chapter. So where exactly we'll just defocus oneself, come up little bit, see where Bhagavatam is, where 6th canto is, where this chapter is, and then try to see where the first text takes us to. So these are the 10 subjects matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll recite this verse. Sri Shuka Uvacha Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanamutayah Manvantare Ishanu Katha Nirodho Muktirashrayah. So Srimad Bhagavatam describes 10 subjects matter. Like we know that Bhagavad Gita describes 5 subject matter. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. So Bhagavatam describes these 10 subject matters: Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Utayah, Manvantara, Ishanukatha, Nirodha, Muktir, Ashrayah. So these are the 10 subject matter explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the personality of Bhagavatam is compared to the transcendental form of the Lord. And here Poshanam is the Lord's protection for the devotees. So this is the protection for the devotees. So this is the 6th canto comes to the protection of the devotees. And the protection of the devotees specifically from a very precarious condition. So like Bhagavatam contains some pastimes, and to the degree the pastime is more evolved, to that degree it is elaborately explained. Right? Like, we know the sons of Prajapati, 10,000 become a devotee, Haryashvas, and and 1,000 become a devotee, and that pastime is literally over in 4-5 texts. It is over. But more the drama is inside, the bigger the story becomes. Like modern times, there is a concept called as "what is your story?" So people ask, "What is your story?" in the podcast. So when you are supposed to tell story, you cannot tell something like as a rice dal wala story. You need a lot of spice inside. There is up and down, and involving a lot of emotions coming out, and then becomes a very compelling, appealing story. And 6th canto is very powerful story like this. Okay, so therefore, our S.B. Keshav Swami Maharaj, he gives the acronym of this 6th canto as an epic. Prabhupada says these are the epic pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And what is the epic? The first is the story of Ajamila, escaping the hell. Before we know that, before 6th canto, 5th canto is describing elaborately different types of Naraka, the hellish planets. And then the question is asked how to be saved from, how to escape this hell. And there is a story of Ajamil. Then there is story of Prajapati Daksha, Indra and Vritrasur, and Chitraketu. So these are the prominent pastimes in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And each story is a powerful story, right? You can see Daksha, how, he was his son-in-law is Lord Shiva, and he became angry. He was cut off, goat's head, daughter burning oneself, the Sati, she is performing Sati oneself. Very powerful story. And then there is suddenly this Vritrasur, big demon, and he is offering such prayers that it is like unheard of, these prayers. In fact, the Acharyas explain that of the various prayers of Srimad Bhagavatam, elaborately the prayers are, categorized as two prayers. There are many prayers in the first 9 canto. The 10th canto prayers of the gopis and, the very exalted prayers. But within the first 9 canto prayers, the topmost prayers are considered as prayers of Vritrasur. And in fact, this pastime of Vritrasur is so powerful that Bhagavatam is known for Vritrasur. Jai His Grace Raisham Prabhu ki jai. Prabhuji Dandavad. I have prepared this class from Raisham Prabhu's mercy only, from his class. Already Bhagavatam is a dose, and preparing Radhesham Prabhu's class for brahmacharis. So if I speak any excessive renunciation, credit goes to Prabhuji. Okay, disclaimer before the class. So Raisham Prabhu gave one very beautiful class to all the brahmacharis, describing, this 6th canto, 1st chapter. So I have taken some drops from there and explaining here. So this is a very powerful story. So this is amongst all the prayers within first 9 cantos, the topmost prayers are considered to be Vritrasura's prayer. These 4 prayers, we will be reciting those. And Bhagavatam is known for the pastime containing Vritrasura. In fact, Namasya Puran says that there is a literature called Srimad Bhagavatam with 18,000 verses and a pastime related to the demon named Vritrasura. So Bhagavatam's benchmark, of course the benchmark is Krishna Leela, but the another benchmark is pastime of Vritrasura, how great this personality is. And he is a demon. So all story, if you see, it's a very precarious condition. Lot of emotions being involved there. You can see the story of Ajamil also. Pure Brahmana suddenly becomes Dasipati Rajamila. At the age of 88, he has a child, suddenly pulled out from the body. Look at the drama and emotion inside this. Then you see Vritrasur, powerful demon, ghastly demon trying to kill all the demigods, suddenly speaking, the beautiful shlokas which are like unheard of. And then who was he? He was a Chitraketu. So this entire canto is about protection, poshanam of the devotees, containing devotees going through very precarious conditions and how to save, how the Lord saves such devotees in these conditions. Okay. So this is the epic. Escaping the hell, Prajapati Daksha, Indra and Vritrasur and Chitraketu. This is where the 6th canto is. And within 6th canto, we are at chapter 14, which again has the 4 parts. The first 8 shloka describes about rarity of devotional service. That here, in this chapter, we are going to come across 5 major personalities. Different personalities we come across. So these personalities are Chitraketu, Kritadyuti, the queens of Chitraketu, other queens, right? 99,99,999 because he was Korodpati, was the original Korodpati. And then there is Angira Muni and Narad Muni. And all these different personalities who are going to come in this, the chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, each of them going to give very powerful lessons. That how Angira Muni, the style of Angira Muni is preaching, the style of Narad Muni is preaching, the way of lamentation and the way she is criticizing the Supreme Lord, Kritadyuti, the way Chitraketu is attached, in his attachment and in his lamentation. In fact, Chitraketu's lamentation is also such a powerful lamentation. I mean, you cannot glorify lamentation, but still, I mean, there is a grace and dignity in the lamentation of Chitraketu. When something parallel like this is, we can see that when Abhimanyu Vad happens, Abhimanyu is killed by Adharma, and Arjuna and Krishna return. And when Arjuna returns, he says everything is very bhakas, everything is very morose, there is no jubilation. And his natural expectation is, as soon as Arjuna returns, Abhimanyu will just run and say, Papa, isko udaya. It's very naturally boyish, childish enthusiasm. And today there is nothing. And then comes the news that Abhimanyu is dead. And then the lamentation of Arjuna. The way Arjuna laments is phenomenal in pages of Mahabharata. And the way we lament, okay, that is also one emotion that we are going to express. Similarly here, the way Chitraketu laments shows the great character of the personality Chitraketu. One can go through those verses, beautiful verses of how he is lamenting with such grace, such dignity within that lamentation. And then Kritadyuti's lamentation, and she is lamenting as a mother. Okay, so that personality also comes out. So these are the 5 personalities we are going to come across in this chapter of 14th chapter. So the first 8 verses, they describe the rarity of devotional service. How Bhakti Yoga is so rare. 9 to 26 will be describing about Chitraketu and Angira Muni's conversation. Next, Chitraketu's joy upon receiving Harsha Shuk. Right. And from 38 onwards, there is a lamentation of Chitraketu and Kritadyuti. That how they are, lamenting. And this is how the chapter concludes. And in the next chapter, we see that, Angira Muni and Narada Muni, they revive the Harsha Shoka, and Harsha Shoka is going to preach in a way, to the parents and make them into devotees. So within the rarity of devotional service, here, Parikshit Maharaj is really amazed. Why is amazed? Because, see, Parikshit Maharaj is not some boy sitting and hearing. He himself was a king. He himself is Samrat, Chakravarti, and he has a great experience of managing the praja. And he has seen that, how to give punishment, how to give rewards. He has a great detailed understanding of, this shiksha, danda and everything. And here he is very amazed that how come a personality like Vritrasura, who is so much in the mode of passion and ignorance, being Asura, having such a transcendental nature. And that is his amazement. And mind you, it is the 6th canto. That means almost like second day or third day. That is the time of the 7 days period. That is where Maharaj Parikshit is. And he is very eager to inquire that, how it is that, such a generally the Asuras are in the mode of passion and ignorance. But how is that this Vritrasur is so powerful devotee of the Lord? And he is glorifying, therefore, the rarity of devotional service. So here the lesson, Acharya says that we should not judge the book by its cover. There are many great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Vritrasur, who appeared in the family of the Asuras, but they went on to become great devotees. In fact, within the Bhagavatam, there are 2 chapters which describe the transcendental qualities of And these are transcendental qualities of Vritrasur and transcendental qualities of Prahlad Maharaj. Both of them apparently in the Asura family. Like, just imagine that, we as a boy or youth preacher, you just go around and somebody who is having kind of a, hippie kind of a person, and you start preaching him, and suddenly he starts preaching some of the finest shloka from Bhagavad Gita. He will say, do you know Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita? You know Chatushloki Bhagavat? And you are amazed. I mean, he's a dadi hai, bada bada baal, he's just moving around like this. This was the kind of a shock that Parikshit Maharaj received. Suddenly, Vritrasur speaking such amazing poetry. And then chapter 9 to 26, Chitraketu and Angira Muni conversation. That Angira Muni is inquiring, and Chitraketu is completely absorbed in the lamentation. And here the lesson is brought is that the constant lamentation for material attachments makes us extremely ugly. So material world is so designed that even if everything is right in the life, if one thing is bad, our attention will entirely flow towards that one thing. Just imagine that, we have, by God's grace, we have all body good, but the finger is, say, while subject cutting, the finger is cut. Where our attention will be? Yeah, the finger only. The attention will go only to the finger. And we will see, dekho na iska finger, Prabhuji, all 10 fingers are nice, uska finger all nice, all 20 fingers are nice, So we will look only for that, the problem, how it is not there in everybody else's life, forgetting that everybody else has some particular problem that they are tolerating about. So the material world is so designed that everybody has one typical critical problem to solve in the life. In every relationship, every personality. And here we see Maharaj Chitraketu, he had everything. He had thousands of queens, he had unrivaled kingdom, he had opulence that even, put the fame of demigods to the down. But he only had one problem, and that was the problem was he had no son. And he used to look around and see there is a construction worker, have 4 children, IT professional, 2 children, and he was wondering, why I only don't have. And he was entirely focused on this one problem. So the material problem has potential to consume our entire consciousness. Like somebody is, has everything nice, but he may have very less YouTube followers. So we'll think, प्रभु जी देखो ना लाइफ इतना अच्छा प्रचार करता हूँ फॉलोअर ही नहीं आते. So right, people may have typical problems. We don't know what problems people may have. I was planning to open YouTube channel. I wrote to Raisham Prabhu. He said that, oh nice, you open YouTube channel, but don't be attached to followers. that was the reply. Don't be attached to followers. Then I forgot only the YouTube channel. I said leave it. Some other time we'll open. So everybody has one typical problem to solve in the life. Everything is nice, husband is nice, only saas is a problem, Prabhuji. Okay. Somebody's everything else is nice, only the job is very far off position. So everybody has to tolerate one thing in life. And here, Chitraketu, Maharaj Chitraketu, he was unable to tolerate that one thing, not having a child. And therefore, when Angira Muni came across Maharaj Chitraketu, he could immediately scan through Maharaj Chitraketu. Right. Our Chaitanya Charan Prabhu wrote this article, Smiling Faces, Crying Hearts. Okay. And here, from the face of Maharaj Chitraketu, Angira Muni could very clearly understand that, he is having a problem. And he inquired. So this inquiry goes on from the text 9 to 26. And Maharaj Chitraketu, so here it is about Chitraketu's lamentation and Angira Muni's estimation of that lamentation. How much he is lamenting. That also Angira Muni is estimating. This is the second part of this chapter. The third part of this chapter is, so Angira Muni awarded him a son called as Harsha Shoka. So initially Chitraketu heard only Ashoka. Then he was told, no, it is Harsha Shoka. And then he said, okay, no problem. Maybe son born after such a long time, rich man's son. He will give some problem. Some Harsha, some Shoka, no problem. Let it be Harsha Shoka. So whenever there is a material thing goes in our life, we should not jump too much up and down, because at any time the material cycle can reverse. So this is the both for Kritadyuti and Chitraketu, because Chitraketu became so attached to the child, so attached to Kritadyuti, and other queens were feeling, what is the big thing in Kritadyuti in this? She just ate the fruit. If I would have eaten fruit, mujhko bhi bachcha hoda. उसमें क्या बड़ा चीज है? And they became very, very envious. And there also the nature comes that how the envy can spoil even the most cultured personality. And therefore, one has to be saved from envy. We cannot be envious even for a right cause. Cause may be right, but the envy itself is so bad that envy can degrade even the personality, like, the co-wives of Krutadyuti. Radhanath Maharaj, when he was giving lecture on this, he said, Chitraketu was a Vedic follower. So whenever he was marrying the queens, it was not he was randomly marrying, tumko, not like that. He was marrying with proper astrological charts and proper matchmaking, kundali, vindali, everything he was. So he was marrying only to the cultured ladies. But these cultured ladies, out of envy, became so envious, they poisoned the child. And as soon as the child died, the next section of this chapter is lamentation of Chitraketu and Krutadyuti. That how in the great illusion, Kritadyuti is accusing the Supreme Lord and Chitraketu is also lamenting. And these are the four prominent sections of this chapter of 14th chapter of 6th canto. What really amazed Maharaj Parikshit was the personality Vritrasur and these four prayers, which is also called as Vritrasur Chatushloki. So we'll recite these verses because we don't know in Bhagavatam class when we will come back to this section of. So we'll recite this. Canto 6, chapter 11, text 24. Aham Hare Tava Padai Kamula Dasanu Daso Bhavitasmi Bhuyah Manasmaretam Supater Gunamste Granitava Karma Karotu Kayah. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be servant of your eternal servants, who find shelter only at your lotus feet. O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes. My words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your lordships. Nanaka prishtam nacha parameshtyam na sarvabhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhira punarbhavam va samanjasastvam virahaya kankshe. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruva Loka, the heavenly planets, or in the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be the master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want the liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Nanakaprish Ajata Paksha Iva Mataram Khaga Stanyam Yathavat Satarakshudarta Priyam Priyeva Vyusitam Vishanna Manoravindakshadidrakshate Tva. O lotus-eyed Lord, as the baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied to their ropes await anxiously for the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as the morose wife whose husband is away from the house always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. If you are missing one verse, Mamottama Janeshu Sakhyam. You can check it actually. You can decide. Samsara Chakre Brahmata Swakarmabhi तन्माययात्मात्ममजदारगेहेषु आसक्तचित्तस्य ननाथ भूयः. So these prayers, 4 prayers, one after another, he was really taken aback, Parikshit Maharaj, because he had never seen such a personality that who is having the external trace of a demon and the consciousness of the purest of the pure devotee offering such purified, pure prayers. So why Parikshit Maharaj was amazed? The reason is that generally the people in general he had seen, and that we see, and what the Vedas explain, people are karma kandi. Who is a karma kandi? Karma kandi means one whose mind always flows towards sense gratification. Naturally, they desire sense gratification. Yamimam pushpitam vacha pravedanti vipaschitah vedavadartah partha nanyadasti iti vatinah kamatmana swarga phala para janma karma phala pradan kriya vishesh bahulam bhoga aishwarya gatim pratihi. Mind is always attached to bhoga and aishwarya, and their only mind flows, and they are very expert in identifying the proper opportunity and obtain that, that falashruti. Like the example given is that Maharaj Nriga. So Maharaj Nriga, it is said that he gave crores of cows in charity. But actually he did not give crores of cows in charity. He gave the charity as an appropriate moment, that you give the charity at appropriate moment, the one cow is equal to 1 lakh cows. Right, so you give 100 cows, how many cows? You give 1 crore cows. So he was so expert in the Karma Kanda section that you give exactly that moment the charity. What happens is, you get somebody comes to you and say, Prabhuji, yesterday I chanted 16,000 rounds. And you'll wonder, 16,000 rounds? Said, yeah, Prabhuji, I was in Vrindavan, 1 round is equal to 1,000 rounds. All years chanting done. So this is called as the Karma Kanda approach, very attached to the principles and especially the Falashruti. But beyond Karma Kanda, there are people who are Mumukshubhi. Who are the Mumukshu? Because they have seen the material enjoyment up and down. Generally, when we don't see the material enjoyment, we think there is some happiness. And I always stress this point that, the missed opportunity is always exaggerated. And because sometimes our material enjoyment opportunity is missed, we feel, kitna enjoyment karte hai na wo log, kaun log, main chhod ke sab log. And this happens at every stage of life. Whatever stage one is, if one's mind is not filled with Krishna, he will be always dissatisfied. Somebody having 5 crore, 1 million, 10 crore, he will be wondering, there are multi-millionaire peoples. They will be wondering there are multi-billionaire people. They will be wondering there are, the top Fortune 10, 15 people who are having billions, centibillionaire. Now this is the new term. One who has $100 billion and more, they are called as centibillionaire. So people are always wondering how their life must be so nice, this, that, forgetting that the material nature, yahi samsparshaja bhoga, dukkayona evate, adyantavanta kaunteya, nateshu ramate buddha. This Mumukshubhi is convinced of this path. He's convinced that any type of material enjoyment, it is just a list of names, just a different covering, the package is same. 4 plus 3. What is 4 plus 3? Janma mrityu jara vyadhi, adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidaivika. It's like $1 billion sale. Buy 4, get 3 free. Okay. So he is convinced of this, and therefore what he is mumukshubhi. He has developed the fear of material existence. The example given is of a cat. The cat sometimes drinks a very hot milk. And because suddenly drinks hot milk is, so badly punished for drinking the hot milk. Now anything white comes, the cat is thinking, abhi ye milk hai, ya chas hai, hot hai, ya cold hai. So therefore the cat is always away. And what is that saying? Doodh ka jala? Chas bhi phuk phuk pe. So this is how the cat will always. So this is the condition of the jnani. And when such jnani, bahunam janmanam ante, jnanavan mam prapadyate, he becomes jivan mukta. So jivan mukta means he's actually in the stage, in the material world, but he's so detached. Prabhupada gives the example of the nariyal, who is completely inside of the nariyal, khobra, is completely detached from the covering. And it will, he's a good, Rasham Prabhu's example this is. If you just hit it, it will... So this is completely detached from the external covering. The internal is detached from the external. And the example here is Janak Maharaj and even Muchukunda. So this is how the Jivan Mukta is described. We'll recite this. Iha yasya Hare dasye karmana manasa gira nikhilashvapi avasthasu Jivan Mukta sauchyate. So these are the Jivan Mukta, is Janak Maharaj and Maharaj Muchukunda. Muchukunda is also very highly praised by Lord Krishna, that he is praising Muchukunda in the prayers, in the glorification, when Lord Krishna is encouraging, glorifying Muchukunda. He is very highly praised for being a Jivan Mukta. So this is the third stage of Jivan Mukta. And beyond this, perfection of Jivan Mukta is a pure devotee. And this Vritrasur was actually the pure devotee. And therefore here we see Parikshit Maharaj is greatly amazed that how did, this Vritrasur get rid of this Rajoguna and Tamoguna so naturally. Bhagavatam gives the way of getting rid of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And that way is remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So here these are the chapter 2, Divinity and Divine Service. We'll recite. Yadanudhyasina yukta Karma Granthi Nibandhanam Chindanti Kovidastasya Kona Kuryat Katharatim. So, how to develop attachment for the remembrance? So, the remembrance of the Lord is considered as the sword which will cut, the knots, the material knots. So, end of the day, it comes to the remembrance of the Supreme Lord. The remembrance of the Supreme Lord, Bhagavatam says, is possible when we have Vasudeva Katharuchi. And Vasudeva Katharuchi is possible when we have Mahat Seva. So when we serve the great devotees, then there will be Vasudeva Katharuchi. And because of Vasudeva Katharuchi, there will be remembrance of the Lord. And by the sword of remembrance of the Lord, one will completely eradicate Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So, for eradicating Rajoguna and Tamoguna, extraneous effort is not required. In fact, the same question even Arjuna is asking in Bhagavad Gita, that my dear Lord, how to get rid of Rajoguna and Tamoguna? How to go beyond Rajoguna and Tamoguna? And then Lord Krishna gives the same answer there, 11.54. What is that verse? That one transcends the modes of material nature. Mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So to transcend the modes of material nature, what is to be done is avyabhicharini devotional service. Mamchayo avyabhicharena, which begins with reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So the association of the devotees, that is person Bhagavat, and the book Bhagavat, reading of the book Bhagavatam, these are the powerful ways of getting rid of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So we'll recite the next verse. Sushrusho Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchihi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanan Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtanaha Hridayantasto hi abhadrani Vidunoti Surutsata. And what is the result of this? The result of this is by reading Srimad Bhagavatam every day. Prabhupada writes in the purport, by daily attending Srimad Bhagavatam class. So it is so powerful. If you see yesterday's class, our Revatipati Prabhu was so amazingly describing the story of Shrutadev and Bahulashva. I was just wondering that what he's going to describe in Shrutadev and Bahulashva. But so beautifully the narration just, the narration flow was there. Shrutadev and Bahulashva. And the topic was also very nice. That, how they received Krishna and the great saints. Similarly, from tomorrow, we are going to have very great personalities arriving here. So we should be in the mood of Shrutadev, Bahulashva if you have car and other facilities. If not, at least Shrutadev. Okay. So, very beautifully narrated like this yesterday. So by attending Srimad Bhagavatam every day, we may not have faith, but this is the faith of Srimad Bhagavatam. We may think, we may look, whatever it is, even whatever different guna that we may attend Bhagavatam, but attending Srimad Bhagavatam is so powerful that it will, mamchayo vyabhicharena bhakti yoga sagunan samatityaitan. One will transcend the modes of material nature. And how it is? Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate ruttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regularly reading Srimad Bhagavatam, attending Bhagavatam class and serving personality Bhagavatam, what will happen? Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu. Almost all the abhadra will be washed away from the heart of a sadhaka. Bhagavati uttama shloke, and his bhakti will become bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. And at this point, what will happen is, so book Bhagavatam is easy, but the person Bhagavat is also very important. Many times one is reluctant to associate with the devotee because the Bhagavat is known as a sadhu, and sadhu means one who cuts. So there is an analogy, very strong analogy actually. I wanted to put up a picture there, but it was a very strong picture, so I did not put it up. The analogy says, sadhu is considered as a butcher. Sorry, sadhu is considered as a butcher? Yeah, sadhu is considered as a butcher who will kill the goat of material desire. So the material desire is considered as a goat. Correct. And the sadhu is considered as a butcher. He will come and chindanti. He'll just cut the material desire. And therefore it is said that, to cut the material desires along with book Bhagavat, one should not forego the association of personality Bhagavat. Like sometimes, we have some strong devotee, we will thoda dur se hi jate. Padane pooch ke, somebody will catch us. Say, hey, kya chal raha hai? So we generally, there is a tendency to avoid the association of the personality Bhagavat. But Bhagavatam says the personality Bhagavat is a sadhu who is a butcher and who will kill the material desire, because the material desire is the root cause of ignorance, that is the root cause of sin, and that is the root cause of samsara. Everything begins with desire. Ichha, dvesha, samuthena, dvandva mohena bhar. This is where. So therefore, along with book Bhagavat, there is importance of person Bhagavat, and there is importance of service also is important. So there is a story, beautiful story of His Holiness Kadam Krishna Maharaj, that he was engaged, and one very prominent service along with the beautiful classes, kirtans that he did, one prominent service was the Mayapur, Prabhupada Samadhi Mandir. And when this construction was going on, Samadhi Mandir, Maharaj used to get up every day at 2 o'clock in the morning and then take bath, get ready to 2:30, chant his rounds from 2:30 to 4:30, and from 4:30 to 9:30 p.m., 4:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., Maharaj used to be out on the construction site, simply engaged in the construction activity. For years together, till the time that Prabhupada Samadhi, fully manifested, for years together in Mayapur, Maharaj performed this seva. And then he said, then after this seva, when I picked up Bhagavad Gita, every shloka, every translation and every word in the purport, Prabhupada and Krishna was personally speaking to me. So, the knowledge will become realization only with very powerful devotional service, practical seva. Therefore it is the book Bhagavat, person Bhagavat, and under the instruction of person Bhagavat, service. These are the three things. And when one is engaged like this, what happens is, then the Rajoguna and Tamoguna will be coming down. Tada rajastamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye chetayetairana viddham sthitam satve prasedati. Tada, that time, rajastamo bhava, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, kamalobha, who are characterized by kama and lobha dayaschaye, chetayetairana viddham sthitam satve prasidati. One will be fully established in sattva guna. And then, evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. And then one will be evam prasanna manaso. One will experience unexclipable happiness. Prabhupada writes, very beautiful statement there in the purport. Prabhupada says, human reason fails to understand how by reading Srimad Bhagavatam one's heart is purified. So Prabhupada says, means don't ask how the heart is purified, because human reason fails to understand how by reading Srimad Bhagavatam one's heart is purified. This is the way one will actually remove the modes of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. And if you see Maharaj Chitraketu, he had this. He had the association of great personalities. Small great personalities, Angira Muni, Narad Muni, Lord Shiva and Parvati. Right? Of course, the interaction went on little different style, but he had that association of the devotees. He heard from them. He practiced. He had already done the seva in the form of ruling the kingdom, and therefore he was completely free from Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Although externally he appeared in the body, in the place, in the situation, circumstance like Asura, but still he was completely unaffected. Padma Patra Ivambasa, completely unaffected by the surrounding. And this is how exactly the wondering of Parikshit Maharaj. And this is how in the next 7 shlokas he is going to express this, the awesome, that how it is possible that Vritrasura is asking this. And then Shukadeva Goswami narrates the pastime of Chitraketu Maharaj. So there is one small point called as U-turn. So coming across a devotee of the Lord, so what happens is the devotee of the Lord generally will put a full stop to the material desires. Correct. So of course this is not for this has to be taken age appropriate. If you are beginning your career, then you have to be kind of ambitious and progressive in the life. But as the age progresses in the due course of time, one has to be controlling one's material desires as well. So the man is very fast driving a car, and he comes in sitting in a car, and he sees a sadhu there, and sadhu is shouting, stop this car. And the man is saying, Hare, you don't have car, that's why you are telling me to stop. The sadhu is saying, no, I am standing at a cliff. If you go like this, you will suddenly fall inside the valley. Stop here. And he says, stop here and take a U-turn. And therefore one devotee was explaining, that's why our tilak is U-turn. We have excessive material desires. Now we have already enjoyed this material life so many times. Punarapi jananam, punarapi janani, jathare shayanam. So now at least, thoda sa break lagao and take a U-turn and go towards spiritual desires which are possible by the association of devotees and book Bhagavatam. So we'll conclude here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, you want to add something? I mean, no. So, Prabhu, you want to add something? I want to continue. It was your class only, by the way. So, Srila Prabhupada ki, yes, Prabhuji.
We wanted to continue your association, so I am asking. Thank you so much for such enlivening presentation. And always you give overview. Last time on Sunday also you recited those verses.
Because it's easy.
So thank you so much for making us recite for Chatushloki. It's very powerful. My question is 12.15. Krishna says that most dear person who is a sadhu, who never agitates anyone nor get agitated by anyone. So when we see that definition and when we see this definition of sadhu who cuts, so can you please help us to understand who is real sadhu? Because we want to go close to him also. It's not that always we are
correct.
Like you said.
So sadhu has both the aspects. In fact, I had asked this question too. I'll come to that point later. Why the sadhu is at times little bit of harsh? Because that is keeping the ultimate good of the personality. Like in Upadesh Upakya, there is a story of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. A person is there on the terrace. He is, flying the kite. And he is on the verge of falling down. Now kite, nobody plays kite. Now just say, on the corner, somebody is taking a selfie. And to get an exact selfie spot, he will go to the corner, and is about to fall from there. The sadhu will say, Hare, stop there. Correct. So is the sadhu doing good or bad? Good only, ultimate good only. Sadhu has to stop somebody from doing something for the good of the personality. And this person says, no, sadhu, mind your business. You don't have a cell phone, you don't take a... Of course, nowadays sadhus have cell phone, they take selfie. So that is not the point. Point here is that... so that's how the sadhu may speak harshly with somebody. And at the general course of action, so a couple of years back when Gaurang Prabhu was here, and Radhesham Prabhu was also sitting here, and I was asking him a question. I was asking him that, Prabhuji, and then I told also, this question does not pertain to Raisham Prabhu because he is my immediate authority. I am not asking from that perspective, but general perspective. I said, it is so happy to attend your class, But here when you are with service authority, that life is tensed and, you are always like. And then he gave a very beautiful analogy. He said, sadhu has both the aspect. Like, when you see the AC room, when there is a AC in the room, there is a cooling effect inside, but the AC will exhaust all the heat and will exhaust outside. So if you go to the backside of the AC, it's very hot. It's very hot there. But inside it is very cool. So he said, I coming to NVCC is like AC. But if you really want who am I, join GV. So he said, similarly, maybe, your authority. Here he may be exhaust. Somewhere else he is like AC. Right? I don't know in Hyderabad how it is. So, but the sadhu has both the things, AC effect and the corrective effect, both. So the sadhu has to go both hand in hand. That is one. Second thing is, like once Govind Prabhu asked His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he said that, Maharaj, I'm so happy, I'm like a child and you correct me, I'm so happy. Maharaj said, yeah, you are happy, but I want you to grow. Correct. So you are happy that I'm correcting you, but I want you to grow. And growth comes, now this is a universal principle, the growth comes only after pain. We may not believe it, you go to a gym class. If you just keep on lifting this, nothing will develop by, lifting some chammach or something like that. So the growth happens when there is an excessive pain. Of course, not beyond that one can tolerate. So if you have, all those personalities, the gym people. Anybody gym here? I'm not very qualified to give gym example. So when you start lifting, you have to always lift a weight which is slightly beyond your capacity. And that's how your muscle will rupture. And in rupturing the muscle, when it rejuvenates, that's how the strength will increase. Otherwise, without that painful training, we will simply remain at our place. Therefore, it is fortune of a devotee to have somebody who is expecting from you. Right? Sometimes we feel, kya Prabhuji, 1 lakh bola to 2 lakh bolte ho target. 2 lakh bola to 3 lakh kar de ho target. Aapka kab bhook khatam hoga? So we may, we may wonder like that, why the target is always going up, but without we going up, and this is our parampara. Like Siddhanta Saraswati, he said that he used to always take a loan and construct a temple and he used to say, now chalo, loan phed do isko, karja chukao. And people used to work hard, and by the time the loan is, done, he will go to next place, again next loan, and, again make people active there. So this is the duty of a devotee, the senior devotee, to make us grow. And therefore, having a personality who expects in our life is a very, very important thing. Even in company management, only those employees grow whose boss is expecting boss. You cannot be unhappy with him. Kya pagar itna, poochte itna ho. Not like that. You have to be, because that is where our mental limits are going to be broken. That's how the growth is going to come up. Otherwise, we'll simply remain at where we are. Therefore, the sadhu has both. He has the AC effect, he has the cooling effect, and we have to, understand what to expect from whom. That is also very important, right? You expect fatherly treatment from father, motherly treatment from mother, and it's very simple. You don't go with the wrong expectation. Father is like, big mucha and, strong man. You don't go that you will say, beta, he'll get the, kiss and all that. He will go, hey, kya gaya, like that. But in that also there is a huge growth inside. So sadhu will treat, and this will realize only after, passing through that phase, that we have grown because we had expecting seniors. That's why we have grown. That's how. I hope I answered.
I was fortunate to hear that conversation here, just behind this.
Here only we had this
and
conversation.
I was also part of it. He spoke more other things also,
right,
which you may not able to share here. But thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mukundanand Prabhu, for a wonderful class. We have one very special devotee here. Is Ravindra Prabhu here still? Yeah, I can give the guideline. I see Ravindra Prabhu is one of the very early devotees in 1995. Mukundanand and me, both of us will give him garland. Come here. I'll tell you why is he so special, I'll tell you. You both will give. We both will give. Actually, in 95 when youth preaching started, he was in the same batch of Premnit Prabhu and all this Krishna Prabhu, Mukundanand, all of them. All of chanting Haribol for him. Haribol! So, he is very well known friend of all the devotees in that batch. And one of the most hard-working devotees in going to the hostels and calling the students for the program. Everybody knows, everybody was trying to do, but amongst the devotees of follow-up, we use the word follow-up, no? So he is number one follow-up man in that. Even in those days, Premnit Prabhu, Gausundar Prabhu, Mukundanand Prabhu, Krishna Prabhu, they all used to admire him, how he is able to keep both balance of his studies along with, such follow-up. And he brought a lot of devotees actually. And also he is friend of everybody. Wherever he goes, yeah. Yeah, even Bharati, yeah. Yeah. In Bharati College, Bharati Devi College, he used to arrange auditorium programs, where even I could go in Saffron and give, so there'll be 250 people attending. He could go to the top management and he could also meet the first year boys also. He was friend of everybody. Later on, he went to America. Currently, you are in San Jose?
I'm in Seattle.
He's in Seattle, Washington now. He's in Seattle, Washington. He comes once in a year or so here. I was very happy to see the photo of Ravindra Prabhu with all the previous friends sitting in Govindas, and they were all taking prasad. So he showed me, he could meet Advaita Acharya Prabhu you met, and Prajanand Prabhu, and who else? Shankar Pandit Prabhu and Harinam Prabhu? Advaita Acharya Prabhu, yeah. Many of them. Premnit Prabhu came online, I think, is it? Yeah. So, Krishna Prabhu came online?
No, I met him.
Personally came. Okay, very good. So some of the devotees are very senior devotees. When you look at them, you may not know how senior they are. Therefore, I introduced you. I am eternally grateful to him because in the early days, the follow-up, to do, we had very handful of devotees. So he was one, day in and day out, he'll be all the time sitting in the bike. You will see him going around. He will call them, he'll put them on the bike and bring them also to class. So let us thank him. Haribol! And one Haribol for Mukundanand for the class. Such a wonderful class. Haribol.